Hey folks, Doc here. It's Saturday. It's kind of cold and crappy outside. It's tolerably warm in the shop, and I've got the Kubota swinging from the ceiling. Yeah, I'm just kind of working away on getting that whole turbo thing sorted out, and as you can see, I lifted it up and removed the oil pan. And I lifted it up and removed the oil pan because I need to equip it for an oil return line. Just quickly looking over this, you can see that piece of copper there. I've got the oil feed line happening, and you know, I can give you some greater detail on that later. And I've got a temporary, anyways, intake tube plumbed up there in the turbo. And of course, you all are aware of the exhaust adapter that I fabricated last video. There she is there. So as far as the turbo being runnable, it's almost there. But that's not why we're here. Why are we here? This is why we're here. That's right, folks. Today is Saturday, the 31st of January, 2015, which means that tomorrow, that's right, February 1st. And February 1st is the kickoff to the 2015 All-Terrain Lawn Tractor Forum Build-Off competition. So what we're going to go over today quickly is what you need to know to enter. We'll start off with the entry protocol, and then we'll get to a very commonly asked question, which I will attempt to answer, you know, for once and for all, and make it simple for you. What you need to do to enter basically comes down to this. You're going to take whatever parts you're starting with. Now, whether that's a pile of scrap tubing, a couple of tires, and an engine, whether it's a complete tractor, you know, whether it's a blueprint and some miscellaneous junk and you haven't gathered much to begin with, but you know, you're hot on its trail. Gather your parts pile together, and we're just going to pretend, for the purpose of this video, that Mule 3 is being entered in the build-off, and I'll show you what to do with that. With your parts pile all gathered together, you're going to get yourself a piece of wood or a piece of cardboard or a piece of drywall, whatever you can write on, and a marker or a pen or a spray can or something that's going to show up in the image. You're going to make yourself a little sign. And the sign is going to read 2015 All-Terrain Lawn Tractor Forum Build-Off. That's the first piece of information you need on there. Second piece of information that you're going to need is your forum name. Okay, you're registered to the forum. You do have to be a member. So in my case, somewhere on that sign is my username. The next little piece of information you're going to need is the date. Now, the date is not necessarily the contest start date. If you wish to enter tomorrow, put tomorrow's date. If it takes you a month to get your act together to enter, put that date. We want your entry date on here, not necessarily the start date. So let's supposing I am going to start tomorrow. So in whatever format you like, as long as it's readable. 01 February 2015. There's your date. Now you don't have to video you doing all this. This is just the information we need on here. The last thing you're going to need is the password. The password is not password. The password will be released tomorrow morning when the contest officially kicks off. Now the purpose for this here little sign is you're going to take this and you're going to put it on your parts pile and take a picture. Poof! There it is. Now you're going to take that picture with your parts pile and you're going to go on to the All-Terrain Lawn Tractor Forum, and you're going to go into the contest section entitled Contest Announcements and Entries, not the build thread section, I'll get to that in a second, and you go into the announcements and entries section and you start a new thread and you post the picture in that thread and give us a description of what it is you're planning to do and what you're planning to build and what all you want to do to it. And the reason that you're going to do that is because of the 50% qualification rule. Again, we want to make sure that somebody doesn't take a complete tractor, shoot a fresh coat of paint on it and call it a build. So what you want to do is you want to sell us your build and say, okay, well, I'm taking this and I'm going to do tires, I'm going to do a transaxle and pulley swap and blah, brakes, throttle, cable, winch, I'm going to put a bidet on it, something to water the flowers and walk the dog, whatever it is you're going to do, and sell us on the amount of work you have to do. And from there, we're going to take your description and your image and scrutinize it, and assuming you qualify, we, the administrators of the All-Terrain Lawn Tractor Forum, are going to take your thread and move it from the entry section into the contest builds section. We will do that. You don't do that. We will do that. When your thread appears in the builds section, you know, you instantly know right then and there you're qualified, you're good to go, build your brains out. Getting back to the sign ever so briefly, the point of the sign with the date and the password is to ensure that nobody digs through the computer and pulls up a bunch of old images and say, oh, look at this pile of parts I'm starting to build with, and then, you know, 2 weeks later a bunch of finished pictures and go, oh, look what I did for the build off. No, you didn't. You did that a year ago. By starting with the sign, the dated sign with the password that nobody knows until tomorrow, I haven't even dreamed it up yet. Fortunately, these things come to me quickly. The point of all that is just to make sure that nobody launches, you know, until the starting gun goes off. Now, I've had what seems like 1,000 questions about qualification. Doc, here's what I want to do. Is this going to qualify? Here's what I want to do. Is that going to qualify? Is this going to qualify? You know, can I start to rebuild my engine ahead of the contest, or is that going to kick me out of qualification? Can you look at this and tell me if that's going to qualify or not? So here's how this basically works. You've been on the forum. You've read the rules. I assume you've watched the video explaining the rules. You know, I did that specifically to help everybody, you know, understand and, you know, cut down on the amount of questions you may have and maybe save you a little bit of time waiting for answers. So having armed yourself with that information, as to whether you qualify, just enter. Enter. It hurts nothing to enter. You know, chances are, if you've been over the rules, you know what's involved and you're going to qualify. And if there's any issue, if there's anything that we see that says, okay, this might be problematic and we're not prepared to qualify you, you know, we're not just going to drop the band hammer on you and then run away screaming. We'll send you a private message or contact you on Facebook or an email or, you know, one of many forms of contact, and we'll let you know, listen, this is why we feel that your build, you know, doesn't qualify under the rules. And, you know, let's talk about this and work it out, and perhaps there's some sort of solution that we can come to in order to get you to qualify, because we want you to qualify. We want you in there. The more the merrier. You know, let's get as many people as possible having at her and have a good time and build some cool crap. Okay, so just to be sure, in the description of this video at the bottom under your screen there, I'm going to put a link to the ATLTF forum subcategory, contest announcements and entries, where you will put in, you'll start your thread, your build-off thread, in order to enter the contest. So I'll give you the link down below just so that you know exactly where you're going. In the meantime, thanks once again for watching, sharing, and subscribing to Sprocket's Garage on YouTube. And be sure to check out the Facebook page. And head off to sulphurcitydesign.com to feed your adhesive addiction. Until next time, take care.